So good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank the business department for giving me this opportunity to be here with all of you. I'm really excited to make this connection with the students here in Elizabethtown and the business department. With the Elizabethtown College, we work closely at the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce is an organization that represents about 180 businesses here in Elizabethtown, not only in the borough, but also in the municipalities around it, that is West Donegal Township, Montjoy Township, and Canoy Township. We have a very diverse base of members, and we have a rough conservative estimate. Our 180 members have like around 3,000 employees. And we have big plans, and in the chamber, for the last 18 months. I came here from the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce, like about a couple of years, 2.5 years ago, almost 3. The board of directors of the chamber were working on a strategic exercise and decided to take the chamber to the next level. And that's when, I made the move when I found this opportunity here from the county chamber here in Elizabethtown. A little bit about me, if you guys are like me, when I was studying business back home in Peru, I always was like, okay, who's this guy coming here to talk to me about business? Does he own a business? Does he really knows what is having your own business? So if you are like me, wondering what is this guy doing here, hey David, let me tell you a little bit more about me. As you can see from my accent, I'm originally from Peru. Anyone speaking Spanish here? None? Oh, you? Good. Probably you can help translate others if it's a tough accent. But I started, my professional career has been always assisting businesses. When I was a young guy, I wanted to start my own business. My father was a dentist. He was also a principal in a public school, but he loved both jobs. But I was fascinated the way the lifestyle he was providing to us and how free and happy he was in his own practice. So I didn't want to be a dentist, but I wanted to have and provide what he was having and providing to us. So I didn't know what kind of business, but I wanted to have my own business. I went to business school back in Peru, and you probably are too young, but Peru, that happened like when I graduated from high school 15 years ago. No, that 25 years ago. Yeah, I know, you will say, this guy looks older than what. So Peru was a country that was isolated financially because we had a president that had the bright idea to stop making payments to the external debt of the country. So nobody wanted to borrow money to Peru. And it was a very bureaucratic country. If you wanted to start or have a business, it could take months or years to start a business. So I was like, I'm not so sure about starting a business. I don't know what kind of business I want to do, but you know what? I want to fix this situation. I want to fix the system. And back then, everyone in my generation, or most of them, wanted to come to America, the land of the opportunities. For me, it was more like, okay, why don't we replicate that here? Make Peru the new America, the land of opportunities. So I started, after graduation, I started looking in some governmental agencies for internships, because that was the way there to start in the Peruvian government. And I found this agency was a brand new agency that new president back then started it to promote Peru overseas. It was promoting investing in Peru by promoting foreign investment into Peru. It was promoting Peru as a place to visit, promoting tourism into Peru, promoting Peruvian industries, promoting exports from Peru to other parts of the world. So I started an internship in the Foreign Investment Promotion Office there. And there I was assistant business, big corporations looking into investing into Peru. Peru, back then, the government owned all the utility companies. So they started a privatization process, privatizing electric, phone, and all that. Very soon after that, I was like, you know what? Okay, helping here these big corporations. And for me, I'm a people person. I kind of extrovert. I like talking, even though sometimes I talk too much. But I like connecting people but not only connecting, but helping them too. So the only way to, and I was like, I wanted to have my own business, and the only way within this agency to work with small businesses was working on the tourism and the tourism promotion office, because they were working with communities, training them and providing them all the training necessary to develop their services and access to new markets. And I was fascinated with that. So one thing took to the other through work. Then I came to Washington, D.C. to do a master's degree, and then I started doing some consultancy for the Inter-American Development Bank. This is kind of like a World Bank, but works finance projects in Latin America and the Caribbean. And then the U.S. Agency for International Development, who took me to other countries in Latin America. My last assignment with them was in Honduras. Then went back into Washington, D.C. to work for the Brookings Institution. I was the assistant director of the Business Services Office, looking the operational and business side of all the research departments that they have there. Before moving, that was right before moving into Lancaster County to work for the Lancaster County Chamber of Commerce, running their program, assisting entrepreneurs in the product development and commercialization. In the 2 years I was there, we launched 12 new products. And right after that, became here, and again, to assist businesses in Elizabethtown as the director of the Chamber of Commerce. So you could see, while I don't own a business, most of my professional career has been assisting businesses in the different phases: product development, market access, marketing, financing, you name it. So I think that probably, well, I don't like to call myself an expert, but that's what I do, that's what I enjoy doing, and that's why I'm here. I think that's what the business school department so interesting to call me and to talk to you about it. So, because I don't want to, there's a lot of information about resources for businesses and startup, but I want to give you something that you take home. I wanna know a little bit more of the audience to see that the information I'm gonna give you is not just you are here because you gotta be, the class requires you. I wanna really that you guys at the end of this take something that is of value and useful for you. So who here, just to get to know what kind of audience I have and what kind of information I should be giving you, who here is sure that when graduating is gonna start his her own business? Can you raise hands? Fantastic. Who has family business that after graduation is gonna go and be managing, running that family business? 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm gonna assume the others are kind of like unsure if they want to run a business or if they wanna be hired and work on a different company. So, and here is when I pull my notes. The first thing you need to know before I tell you about the resources that are out there is owning a business the good fit for you? That's the very first thing you need to know. And you gotta keep in mind that owning a business, you gotta go with the expectation that you're gonna be working longer hours. Business owners work, and those who have already, the family have businesses can tell you that they work longer hours than somebody else employed by a different company. So people that have the expectation, no, I'm gonna go start my business so I will have other people doing the work for me. While that might happen, that's not always the case, and it doesn't happen fast. It doesn't happen if you don't invest this time working for your own business. The second thing is that you gotta be, in the business you gotta start, it gotta be something that you like, it's gotta be something that you are passionate about it. Because remember, you're gonna be spending so much time there. And many cases, many cases, the business is not productive enough. It doesn't produce revenue. The return on investment is a really long process that if you are not passionate about it, you're gonna get really discouraged and probably, leave that. I'm gonna give you an example on that. We had a business here in Intrapreneur, I won't name it, but when they met with me, they had this idea, and it was a fantastic idea. It was a business that we didn't have here in Elizabethtown. And their financial information, it was very conservative. And I was like, wow, I think you guys are gonna do much better than this. Oh yeah, but if we reach this goal, we will be okay. Open the business, a success since day one. I went after a week. These two people that I met with, they looked terrible. They were sleeping only 4 hours. They did not expect that. They were like, it's going great, but we are exhausted. We didn't expect this much. Long story short, they sold the business because it was more of what they could expect. They had the expectation that they could start it, run it, and then get somebody else working for them, but it's a kind of business that they needed to be there. And the new owners, successful, I think is more prepared for this type of business. So when you start a business, if you think the business first, it's a good fit for you, you gotta have those two things to analyze. It's working long hours and you are passionate about it. And the first resource that I'm gonna mention here to see if business it's right for you is here. Your teachers, your professors. They are the ones that have all the connection, have all the knowledge, and the faculty here at Intrapreneur, you guys are lucky because they are great people. They have all these great initiatives. Take advantage of every single one of those. Consult with them. The relationship with your teachers doesn't stop when you graduate. Hopefully after the 4 years that you are here, you can treat it some sort of like as a colleague or, a professional body. The other source that you need to know, you need to reach to see if business is for you are other business owners that you can find within your family, within your friend, with your relative. Talk to them, see what's the lifestyle that they have, that fit your personality, that fit what you are looking for your life. What are the challenges they face? How they overcome those challenges. Another resource here, you have a question or just, okay. And by the way, just interrupt me. And if I say something that makes no sense or you don't understand the word, interrupt me. Because even my kids say, Daddy, you don't say that in English like that, So I won't get hurt. I learned English as an adult, and that's why the accent is not going away, even though I try. I was a couple of weeks in Germany in a meeting that the American German Chamber of Commerce organized. And when they asked me, so what do you do? Where are you from? Where do you live? Oh, I'm from Peru, working in Elizabethtown, running the Chamber of Commerce. Oh, a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce? No, a regular chamber. Oh, where? In Elizabethtown? How big is? About 11,000 people. Oh, gosh, gotta be very progressive that Elizabethtown to have a Latino with this thick accent running the Chamber of Commerce. Okay, I'm digressing, let's get back. Another source is a source that most people really don't consider it a source, is the library at your community. And many of these libraries have business assistance centers. That's the case, the one in Lancaster City, for example. And they have access to a big number of databases that can help you with your market research, to know your competitors, to know your potential market, help you to see what target of market you might want to reach out. So libraries are also another source there in this phase to see if a business is a good fit for you. Actually, what I'm telling you now, I got it from the library in Lancaster. They said a toolkit for startups, which I think is phenomenal and summarizes really, really well all the steps you need to do when thinking about starting your own business. Check in your community. How many of here, you guys are from Pennsylvania? So your hometown is Pennsylvania, the majority of you. Pennsylvania, you know, even though our budget is not the best among all the states here, they have several resources for businesses. Check different organizations. We have, like here in Lancaster County, these are the resources we have available. We have a SCORE. A SCORE is nationwide. Those are people, some of them are retired, not the time of retirement I'm looking for because they work like 8 hours a day, or people that are still working but volunteer. It's run by volunteers, but volunteers with the experience, with management experience. And the whole idea with the SCORE is to transfer that knowledge, how to run businesses, to those that are running businesses from these people. And it's funded by the SBA, the Small Business Administration. So check in your community what is out there. SCORE has a strong presence in Pennsylvania. If you are here in Lancaster County, another business assistance organization is called Assets, and that focuses to minority groups. Another organization that provides business assistance is Community First Fund. Community First Fund works in several counties, including Lancaster here in this side of the state. And they not only provide business counseling and assistance, they also provide sources of financing. Now, if you are not from Pennsylvania, don't worry. There are other sources you can look after in this phase of determining whether business is right for you or not. That's the SCORE. SCORE is nationwide. They have several chapters across the nation. The SBA, the Small Business Administration, so those are good two sources for you. And check on your state government website. Every state, at every level of government, there's gotta be a Community Economy Development Office. And they have all sorts of programs, initiatives, and connections. Business is all about connections, all about networking. And those of you that are already experiencing family have businesses experience that already. The second step, after you see if owning a business is a right fit for you, is to figure it out what type of business is good for you, and do your market research your market. Now, remember I said, first you gotta dedicate long hours and be passionate about it. Being passionate about it, let's say you are passionate about the sports. Okay, now second step, that will help you to figure out what type of businesses. Here again, the resources that you have at the school are important. Your teachers, talk to other business owners in that field. Let's say it's sports. What's working, what is not, what is missing, and see if that, give you some ideas of opportunities for you to start your own business. Another source, there's an Intrapreneur website. Are there anyone from the entrepreneurship class? Fantastic. There's an Intrapreneur.com website. Check it out. Give you several ideas about what type of businesses you can start. That is for the type of business that you will need to decide what you want to do. Then conduct a market research. You don't need to hire a market research firm or organization to do this. You can easily do that. Here, I don't know if through your library you have access to databases. Do you? Well, For this type of research, my favorite one is Reference USA. And if you don't have it here, you can get it by becoming a member of the library, which is for free, the local library on Market Street. You'll get your library card, and you can have access to several databases there from your computer. You don't have to go there. And my favorite one to do market research is Reference USA. That's the one I recommend to people that come to me asking me, hey, I have this idea. Can I start a business out of this? Check the Census website. That's going to give you an idea of how the different business sectors are going. The economic census of businesses is conducted every 5 years. So you will have information that in a way is up to date. But I think the last one was 2010. But it's not too old to give you some reference of what type of business and what you can start and what the market situation is. The next step is consulting with business professional. Talk to an attorney. You don't have to hire. You might know one. Talk to an accountant. Talk to an insurance agent to figure out what having a business from their perspective, is all about. What is the cost? What are your responsibilities as a business owner? And obviously, resources for that, family, friends, relative. You will need to determine what's the legal structure you want to give to your business. You have different structures. One is the sole proprietorship, partnership, the LLC, the S corporations. Again, each library has several documents there that can tell you what is the best business structure that fit to your needs. Also, something that probably people don't look at is the IRS website. See what is up there in terms of taxes. What's the best business structure for you? The next step, and again, all this is through the toolkit that the business office of the business center of the Lancaster Library put together. It's really, really good, and just summarizing all that, you can access it if you go to their website. On the left column, there's going to be Business Center. Click on it, and then on the same column, after clicking there, click on Toolkit for Startups. And they're going to list for every step all the different websites that you can go. You got to choose a name. So you got to be creative. You got to be with a name. You got to make sure that it's not already registered. And again, through your library, they can give you several ways to research that. The next step is to register your business and see what kind of zoning, what kind of licenses you'll need for this. So here, you will need to go to the different government agencies, right? You will need, here in the state of Pennsylvania, Lancaster County doesn't require to be registered in the county as long as you are registered in the state of Pennsylvania, the state government. But more specifically, here in Elizabethtown, you gotta go and get the permit from the borough after registering at the state level. The next step is you gotta obtain your employer identification number. That's the IRS website. You can get more information about it, how to do it. It's a very straightforward process. Now we're gonna get here to the most important part of the whole process of seeing if owning a business is right fit for you or not. The next step is to determine your startup cost and projected monthly income and expenses. Here you gotta take into account what kind of equipment you are gonna need. Furniture, supplies. You can check with different local suppliers about that. And all this you can get, most of this you can do it even online or making some phone calls. You gotta determine how much inventory you will need to start. You know, the location. Are you gonna lease it? Are you gonna purchase it? Are you gonna start it from home? Staff. Will you need some staff from the beginning or not? And then you gotta price your product or service. Check competitors to see how much they are pricing, and depending on your cost, will that cover your cost or not? For here, and this links to the next step, that is write the business plan. It's important. You have no idea how many people started businesses without a business plan. Some of them, few of them, still are successful and running, but that's kind of like the exceptions. If you want a solid business, you need to write your business plan. And also, if you're going to need financing from somewhere else, no one is going to borrow money, probably your family or friends, but if you go like commercial banks, or if you go to the state, the township, whatever entities there, or any economic development company is in your community, nobody's going to borrow money to you unless that you have a business plan. And here the sources are, again, those organizations that I mentioned to you that can help you develop the business plan. Now, they won't do it for you. They will give you the guidelines, how you do it. You are the one who has to do it. And these organizations offer their services for free. That's another nice thing, because they receive funding from the SBA. They are not, they cannot charge you. They might charge you some nominal fee probably, but those are great assets. And here in Lancaster County, we are fortunate to have all these resources like assets, SCORE. If you are with a family, your family has a business, here you have a resource, the Family Center, the SDL High Family Center, Business Center. So business plan is key, is important. And you know, once you write a business plan, it's not something that you just leave it like that. You know, you gotta review it every year, every couple of years, adjust it. The market is a place that changes every day. So if your business plan is not adjusted to that situation, probably success won't be happening as fast or often as you might want. Then, after saying that, after having a business plan, you need to determine your funding sources and secure financing. And again, there are different sources here. The closer to you are obviously friends, family, relative. You can go to commercial banks. You can go to your community economic development company. And the economic development companies are cool places to go because they usually manage a very diverse portfolio of loans, private and public. You can go and talk to your state government. Every state have a Department of Community and Economic Development. You can go to the local government, if it's a city, a township. What is out there for you to assist me opening a business here? And it is in their best interest to assist you, because the more businesses, the more income they generate, the more taxes they will get back, these government agencies. One of the things that I see from assisting different businesses, there are situations that businesses are, before we used to have grants. When I was at the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce, the city of Lancaster was giving grants of $10,000. Then they moved, when the economic situation changed, to loans. Now they don't have it available anymore. There were a lot of grants, and depending on the type of business, you know, some states might invest more in specific sectors than others. Here in the state of Pennsylvania, through Ben Franklin, the state is investing heavily on the development of new technologies. So if you, we are not Silicon Valley, but I think after them we are the second best place If you are thinking about developing a new technology or product related to new technologies, you will get a lot of support from the state government. When working with businesses about in this phase about getting financing, you gotta keep in mind, and this is very important now that you are starting, you gotta have a good credit record. There are some people that have terrible credit record, credit history. I consider, my experience from assisting businesses, banks and other organizations that loan money consider good debt, student loans and mortgage. But if you have like high credit card debt, that probably become an issue. The other thing is, many people come to me and say, there's no money to assist small businesses, startups here. And then I go and, hey, we have all these financing organizations. What I hear from them is like, you know what, Ramon? Because people come here and they expect to get the money for free. They gotta have a collateral. That's something very important for you to know. When you go and request a loan, you're gonna have good credit history and collateral. That in the event that your business fails, you know, it's the way that the bank have to guarantee that you will pay them back with something. You know, it could be your car, it could be a house, it could be something that the bank can get that back in the event that it fails. Obviously, we all, when make these financial transactions, provide that with the expectation that, you know, it won't be taken because we assume, you know, that we will be paying that off and the business will be successful to pay it off by itself. In Pennsylvania, we are very fortunate too, especially on the technology field, that we have a very active angel investor network. So that's if you are developing a new product that is innovative, there's no such a product or technology like this, you can partner with them. This is a wealthy group of people that are looking to make an investment, go with you as partner. Sometimes it's 50-50 ownership of what you are developing, but the difference, that advantage here is that you are getting fresh cash. They put the money, you put the knowledge, and hopefully the whole idea is that as soon as it's developed, they sell it for much more. And here in Pennsylvania, it's really active. If you just go paangelnetwork.com, you'll find more about it. Also in Pennsylvania, we are really lucky to have the Ben Franklin Technology Partners. If you go benfranklin.org, you'll find, and all this is related to technology. And they have a very diverse set of loans and used to have grants before through the Keystone Innovation Zone programs. But as I said, you know, the state budget is not as in its best shape as it used to be. Then you will need to determine how you market and how are you going to market your product or services. Again, databases, you can have access to them through your library. Then you need to establish a record-keeping procedure. You know, you can do it yourself. You can hire someone. Nowadays, there are several bookkeeping organizations that are very affordable that can do that for you. Or there are also several websites that softwares that does it for you. And the last step is hire staff if applicable before you open for business. Now, you are open for business. What are the resources out there when you are open for business? Obviously, you want to be, as a business, good citizen and a good member of your community. Resources there, you go by the different levels of government. If you are in a township, in a borough, go meet with your borough councils, with township councils. It's always good that they know what type of business are here and that you are complying with all the regulations that they might have. Among townships and boroughs and cities, regulations might vary. Obviously, go to your local chamber of commerce. The chamber of commerce, especially a local chamber of commerce, our goal is to provide the highest value for the investment members make through their membership investment. And the neat thing with the Chamber of Commerce not only helps you building a stronger local community, because in the Chamber of Commerce we encourage people, community, to patronize the businesses that are members, so that helps the local economy, keeping the money locally, but also it's a great networking venue for your businesses. Again, businesses is all about connections. Who you know, how many people you know, how do you access to them? All these things you can get through your Chamber of Commerce. That's locally. Obviously, go see what county, whatever county you are, what do you need in terms of starting your new business. At the state level, if you are in Pennsylvania, the Department of Community and Economic Development is a great resource to have. Yes?
I was just thinking, could we stop here and see if there are any questions?
Sure. Any question for you so far? And I hope for those that are thinking about starting a business, still think about starting a business, that this information is helpful, and I'm not discouraging you to start a business after graduation or before then. Any question from any of you? Yes, sir.
Do you see more people coming right out of college, starting businesses right out of college, or do you see more people coming back after experience and starting a business?
That's an interesting question. What I'm seeing here locally in Elizabethtown is that people that finished college and left Elizabethtown, they are coming back here with families and kids because they are like, we want to replicate what we experienced before when younger, and come back here to start businesses. You have the bakery, you have the jewelry store, you have the photography business. I can mention several. In my 18th month here, I was like, wow, that's a trend, that's neat, So community plays a big role for those new businesses coming, what they experience. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Why did you decide on being the Chamber of Commerce, like runner at E-Town, like why not somewhere bigger?
That's a good question. Do you remember when I said that I was working for these multilateral organizations and that was sending me all over Latin America? Yeah. Probably you are too young for this, but there's an important person in your life called wife that tells you, you know what, I'm tired to follow you around, so now you follow me. And she got a job in Lancaster County, so yes, I'm here. Happy with the decision, she's a bright woman, and so yeah. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to keep the family together, right? And I have the set of skills that can be applied here. Now, yes, it's a challenge. Every work, whatever you decide, even if you decided to start a business or go work for somebody else, you gotta leave your mark there. For me, it was a really attractive challenge. When I came here, the chamber was in a different place than it is now. Of course, there's still more room for improvement, but I see of this making it grow, and that will be my mark here. Another question? Oh, yes.
Of the couple hundred businesses that you represent, how many of them were startup businesses that went to the chamber?
Startup businesses, I can tell you that in the last 6 months, they were like about one new business a month opening here. And they're all doing great. We have, there's another thing. As a business, you also gotta be connected with community events because that's a way to expand the exposure of your business. Here in Elizabethtown, if you guys don't know, there are businesses in the downtown are starting this activity second Friday in Elizabethtown from 5 to 9. And businesses will have specials, things, so with the whole idea to attract foot traffic into their business. There's a new business that is going to open that day on Friday the 12th, October the 12th, on High Street. It's called Rooster Street Provisions. If you guys like aged meats, as I do, you will love this place. It will be like paradise. If you like the prosciutto, and they're going to have all sorts of cheeses. And the whole idea with this is like if you are going to organize a party, you just go to one place to get the snacks, take it to your party. Cool concept. And this young couple chose Elizabethtown for it. Other questions? Yes?
How long does it usually take when a person starts their own business before they actually start seeing profit coming? It usually takes weeks.
It depends of that type of business. However, how I would like to respond to your question is like the first 4 years of any business are the most challenging ones. But it depends. Like the bakery is doing excellent since day one because there was no bakery. It depends the market conditions. Are you the first one to get with this type of business or not? It depends of the type of business. Depends like the size of the community, you know, how well you've done your market research. Depends on several factors. But the key idea I want to leave on you guys is about this thing about the resources. You can find all the resources, but they won't do that work for you. They won't. It's all a matter of you going after them and utilize them. But the one that does the work, if you want to start your own business, is you as a business owner. Yes, sir.
Were you involved with University of Pizza opening up in Newtown?
I wasn't involved. They are not a chamber member. It's a great concept, I think.
Yeah.
It is. I would love, if you have connections there, please tell them to become a chamber member. Because, yes. The whole, and again, the whole idea, wherever you are, it will be great if you stay here in Elizabethtown, but wherever you are going to be establishing your new business, join the chamber. Not only for because that is going to give you more networking opportunities, more exposure, but also that's a way to contribute to the local economy. You want the money that these people are willing to spend to be spent locally, because in that way your business thrive, business in the community thrive, and the community itself thrive. Other questions? There you are.
Can any type of business be part of the Chamber of Commerce?
Any type of business, as long as it's legal, yes. Yes. It depends. And Chamber of Commerce usually, and that's for this, yeah, most of them the membership rate goes by the number of employees. You know, for example, ours is if you have from 1 to 4 employees, and we count the owner as an employee, it's $135 the membership fee for the year. 5 to 10 is 15, 5 to 7, 5 to 14, 170. I should know this better, right? But but you can go to our website and check it out. But for what they get, members are it's a good investment on the chamber. We have businesses that have been members for several years to the chamber, and unfortunately, with the economic situation too, more businesses having to cut costs because it's intangible what they get. You know, the first thing they cut in their budget is chamber membership, and we had a hit as any other chamber of commerce. This is a phenomenon that is happening all over the place here. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Next time I'll do the presentation in Spanish. What about that?